Crypto and digital asset current and future trends. Prepare for the next bull run.
So guys, are we ready for the next bull market? So the thing is this, the hottest topic is still about the bull run, which is often questioned and highly anticipated by many, which a lot of us know that it's making a lot of people millionaire and billionaires overnight. But preparation is key. So if your interest in crypto lies heavily on making money, this panel is for you. And good morning, everyone, and fellow DJs. I'm Eunice. I'm the moderator for you for today's panel. And today's topic is crypto trends. And today we have an esteemed panel of speakers with us today. Artem, Pavel, Arthur, and Andreas, each bringing different insights into this space. So can my panelists please provide a quick introduction on who you are and what you do in this space?
Yes, let me start. Thank you everyone for being here. Thanks to the organizers as well for inviting me. My name is Andreas Vlachos. I am the growth manager for Binance in Greece and Cyprus. And yeah, very happy to be here. I've been in the crypto ecosystem since 2014, having an academic background at the beginning. So I was one of the first graduates at the University of Nicosia blockchain course. And I'm working in the industry since 2019, shifted from an academic space, and happy to be here.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Pavel Matveev. I'm co-CEO of Wirex. Wirex is a London-based payment app with 6 million customers. Yeah, happy to be here.
Hi guys, pleasure to meet you all. I'm sales director at Mercuryo. We do payment infrastructure for crypto companies, for DeFi companies as well. Been around for last 5 years, building like a new payment layer for crypto field. Yeah, happy to be here.
Hello, nice to meet you all here. I'm Artem. I'm from 1inch. 1inch is actually a top aggregator over the DeFi space. So if you heard something like Uniswap Curve, yes, 1inch is the project that aggregate all this stuff. My background is mostly engineering, so I'm not sure I'm the best person about talk about the bull run, but I can, cover with the technical perspective and what is going on in the DeFi space. Yeah, thank you.
I love this diverse set of different backgrounds. And as for me, I'm Eunice. Again, I'm a trader, investor. I've been in this space since the pandemic, gone to stocks and gone to crypto, never looked back. So let's start this. My first question for you guys would be for Arthur and Andreas. Can you guys share your thoughts on the current state of the crypto market and what factors you believe are driving it? Are we going up or are we going down?
Well, I think if you find someone who would be promising returns or that he or she knows exactly where the market is going, I think it would probably be a scam. At least in my opinion, there are a lot of unexpected turns that we've seen during all these cycles. So there are things that we can obviously analyze in terms of fundamental analysis, like what's happening with the grayscale and for example, the regulation updates, the XRP case in the USA, and that obviously affects the whole market. But in the long term, it's safe to say that we are still in the early adoption phase. But I can't, and I don't think anyone can for surely predict in the short term where the market will turn. Tomorrow, an unexpected update may come up. Elon Musk might say something on Twitter. The president of the USA might say something on Twitter. We may have a hack of a big DeFi protocol. So it's quite hard to predict, and I would encourage everyone to do their own judgment before they take a position.
I do agree. So what do you think about this, Arthur? What is your opinion?
Yeah, I agree that it's really hard to predict what's happening next, and probably Andreas has more like institutional experience than Mercuryo. So from our point of view, we look at the crypto space like more as an infrastructure if it's ready for the next retail, like billions retail customers. So I would say the next bull run will be driven by fintech, like embeddable products that we see right now on centralized exchanges, on like decentralized wallets, like decentralized exchanges as well. So it's like probably more about like infrastructure that will help retail customers to use and unleash the power of Web3, DeFi specifically. And yeah, we look at this, I would say, very optimistically because of right now we see that despite the regulation, despite all of the redundancies and difficulties that cryptocurrency facing right now with banks, with traditional financial institutions, there are still like players that can really make it happen and help users to, provide pretty much the same experience that they right now have with Revolut, with Wirex, but having, fully, I would say, decentralized way of holding and storing their money. And yeah, this is something we're working on as well. So I think we are very close to the next bull run just because of the infrastructure is already ready. And we used to have the same kind of experience in the Web 2. So just, yeah, probably because of that.
Yeah, everyone talks about that we are really close to the bull run. I mean, we can never predict exactly where we are, but in the cycle, do you guys think that we, anyone can answer this, like, do you think that we're in the accumulation phase or have you gone past that?
Well, I think we're in accumulation phase. And look, the good thing about the industry, there are cycles, right? And every 3-4 years, there is a exponential growth, which we call hype, bull run. And then there is, other leg of this cycle is a crypto winter or bear market. So yeah, definitely the good thing that bull run will happen next year at some point, but the most important that it will happen.
Yeah, that's my next question for you actually, Pavel. Like, I'd love to know your insights in terms of what do you think is going to trigger the bull run? Like, would that be like an event that happen or just like the Bitcoin halving that everyone talks about?
Well, that's a good question. I think the popular opinion at the moment is that ETF approval will trigger the next bull run. But I'd like to share the trends at least we see on our end. So the trend we see on our end is that a lot of centralized platforms, centralized exchanges, or even like a challenger banks or neobanks, they move in part of the ecosystem on chain. There are examples like Coinbase. They launched the Base chain, for example, and they call it on-chain summer, the marketing campaign. So this happens a lot. So a lot of companies either launching the app chain, so app chain is app specific chain, or their own blockchain, like a Coinbase. And another trend we see is that a lot of centralized platforms are adding non-custodial wallets, either integrated or either as a standalone app, right? Like Binance, OKX, Coinbase, everyone has either integrated or standalone non-custodial wallet. And what it means, it's kind of very similar to what you said about infrastructure. I think what we see is that a lot of activity will be moving to chain, on-chain, and we will see, I think, the growth in this area, more DeFi applications, more new interesting use cases. And I think user experience also is getting ready for that with Wallet Connect 2.0, with account abstraction, and the fact that the gas probably will be moved as a friction point. So yeah, I think that's kind of on-chain movement might be a next trigger.
Thank you for your insight. So Artem from 1inch, I'm interested to know what you think about regulation that's everyone talking about as well. For example, we had some successful wins in our space with XRP, Ripple case, and also Grayscale. So how do you see these evolving moving forward, and what should participants in the market keep in mind in regard to the regulations?
Yeah, so on this one, I can say that through the past years, the regulation already came to DeFi, like the projects Uniswap, 1 inch, so there is some AML compliance policies. So I would say I see the trend that DeFi become more and more regulated. And again, in terms of this, let's say, bull run or whatever, let's say, trends, it might be such thing like the guy said the centralized things go to DeFi, and also the DeFi goes to, let's say, more centralized way in the way that we might see the such thing as institutional DeFi, I think very soon. Let's say some banks or big funds can acquire on the dedicated network or use the same infrastructure from Base or like Coinbase, the Base net chain, etc. So I would say the two topics here, DeFi become more and more regulated. We see it, we like apply all these policies, whatever, these things. Plus the DeFi also try to, I see the projects, maybe some unicorns that we see that we can, that can utilize regulations and become some institutional players, that some projects from the DeFi area. This also might happen, but again, there's also a possibility. This is some trends that I can see from my perspective. Sorry.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Like, we are definitely going to get a lot more regulated. And in my opinion, when that happened, I feel that the coins are probably very, very difficult to get up to 50x or 100x because there's so much more regulation. But it's okay. I believe that we'll make our way through. And for you, sir, I'm interested to know that because seeing your experience being in this space since 2014, right? And you're also a growth manager for Binance. And last cycle, we saw layer one outperform the market. So what sectors do you think could be the biggest narratives for the next bull market?
Yeah, so if we refer to sectors, I think that it would be a race of who will achieve the perfect solution or the closest to perfect solution to solve the blockchain trilemma. So I see projects that are thriving to solve the issues of scalability, of speed, and decentralization. So it's probably a race of who will achieve to solve all these solutions. You talk about layer one, obviously there are some interesting propositions. For example, BNB chain, the project that we are developing, we are focusing more on speed and scalability, but we can't really say that we are far decentralized. We have only like 20 or 21 validators. So each project has its own advantages. But I think even if we talk about layer two solutions like rollups, for example, even these solutions have their aspect of centralization on the way they bundle and prosecute and execute transactions. So we are still, I think it's not a matter of what kind of solutions will emerge, but it's a matter of identifying the potential use cases of the technology. So in the same way that we can transmit money, remittances, payments, we may see one or two projects or a handful of projects achieving that. We may see a handful of projects achieving scalability and speed in the healthcare section, for example, or in the supply chain section. So I am very interested to see which of these projects will emerge, but again, I can't predict, to be honest, what kind of solutions, or it will be a layer one or layer two or something else.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time predicting that too. I mean, as a trader, we read a lot on Twitter as to see what's happening.
Sorry to interrupt, but if we knew which project would be the go-to project in the next 5 years, we will all be billionaires, right? Because we will invest in that project one way or another. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. That if you find someone that promises he will solve all the problems of this industry, is probably a scam in most occasions. That's my opinion. And yeah, sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. Yeah, so amongst you guys, any of you can answer this. So we're not going to predict this, but maybe we can at least speculate what could be, right? So if you can highlight any emerging trends or technologies in the crypto space for the investors and newcomers should be aware of. So everyone talks about the AI, everyone talks about maybe the GameBoFi, that's kind of like a new thing that just came up. a lot of gamble tokens just started popping up in DeFi. That could be one. So what are your opinions?
Well, since we're speculating, so I do think that the problem of scalability is a big one. And I think a few projects working on this issue. There is, Optimism Stack, there is ZK rollups. I think we need to solve scalability issue in order to onboard more customers and introduce new use cases like payments use cases, for example, or gaming use cases. In gaming, you need to do a lot of transactions cheaply. So, yeah, my guess is that the projects which focusing on the scalability issue, one way or another, it's a safe bet. AI gaming very trendy now, might be not that trendy in a year, but still might be the case.
Yeah, I would just say, it's come to my mind. There is some ZK rollups and zero knowledge technology in general for scalability. Also, it's already we see like it's integrated on some projects. So definitely this kind of pure tech stuff. And again, you should decide on your own to distinguish between scam projects and real tech things. But it's a lot of things in the area related to scalability is really, let's say, great point of growth in my opinion. Again, just from the technical perspective, it's really amazing stuff. Things.
Yeah, do you want to quickly just explain what ZK rollup, please? I think some people in the room may not actually understand.
Yes, I try to be
less technical.
Yes, less technical. I would say if you know maybe you heard Optimism network and the base network from the Coinbase. This is, let's say, one way of scalability called optimistic rollups. Basically, in any way, you compress, let's say, your transaction and you publish the proof that on the second layer transaction was made on the mainnet. And there is, let's say, two ways how to approach, double spend and, let's say, exit problems. So when the network is malfunction, and one way is, let's say, more optimistic with more trust and, let's say, some game theory exit game called optimistic way. And the other way is ZK, is zero knowledge cryptography. There is no such thing as, let's say, game theories, is more sophisticated cryptography primitives. When you, if you heard about the hash function, there is a special ZK proofs. So the very short proof that a lot of actions was done on the layer 2 chain is published on the mainnet, and then once block confirmed, you can say that this transaction really happened on the second layer. So it's two ways of scalability. One, let's say, more optimistic, as Optimism network called, and the other one is more bulletproof cryptography with cryptography in mind. But at the same time, it has backend has some disadvantages or advantages. So for ZK, you need much more computation efforts to compute all this stuff. Also, it might be the point of where infrastructure were needed to compute all these cryptographic proofs. It's maybe also the next point of growth in the, let's say, next years. Yeah, I try to explain it short how it works.
Wow, if that's short to you, that's amazing though, because I love to be surrounded by people that are very smart like that, because if I know that I'm in the right place when I don't understand 50% of what he was saying, but I will learn. So to our last thing though, for just for everyone to finish up this panel. So I'd love to know, what piece of advice that you guys can give everyone in this room to navigate the space a bit safely for the next bull run.
Yeah, let me start. So I would say the key is education. So as you said, you are an investor during the pandemic. I'm sure before you started investing, you educated yourselves on proper ways to manage your funds, to manage your seed phrases, and so on. Because we see DeFi emerging into the space, so Bitcoin and crypto is all about managing your own funds. It's nice, obviously, to have an exchange like Binance managing your funds. You have all this exposure to great products like the card or staking or the Launchpad and Launchpad projects. But there are also users who want to hold full ownership of their funds. So they shift to DeFi. That's why as Binance, we also acquired Trust Wallet, which is a DeFi wallet. So I think education is key. And I will add something else. I think that we shall pay attention to regulatory updates. You mentioned before the updates in the USA, but I think also in Europe we have some exciting times ahead. The MiCA, the Pan-European regulation has been voted and it will be coming into existence for stable coins in mid-2024 and for service providers in early 2025. So this will give us a clear path as service providers and as token issuers for the projects to operate on a pan-European way. For example, on service providers, we can passport our license. If we have the license in France, for example, we can passport it in all the EU countries. So pay attention to regulatory updates and education. Educate yourselves on proper ways to manage your funds is my answer on this.
Great advice.
So from my side, I think it's safety and security. Safety, well, there are so many ways to make money in crypto, but there are even more ways to lose money in crypto. So I think safety is quite important, and self-education. Yeah, I think it's explains itself. You need to be aware of what token or platform or technology you're investing.
Yeah, I would agree. Safety and security, like diversity, as Andreas mentioned, you should probably have like multiple wallets, multiple neobanks, Trojan banks that you use, and this is something we already have like available. So I would suggest everyone probably just to follow, as Andreas mentioned as well, regulatory updates as well as security updates. So DeFi is very interesting space for investing, and even like I think it's common like using these funds as a normal way we use our current fiat money. But again, like DeFi also quite unsustainable in terms of regulation at the current stage. I think Artem would agree with me. And
yeah, definitely. Actually, if I think nothing get to all the guys. Like regulation, safety, education is a key point. Like, how to try to to be up to date on this area.
Just safety. All right. Thank you all today, actually, for being here. It's very great to hear your insights and get to meet you guys in person. So thank you again. Enjoy the rest of the day. I hope you enjoyed this panel discussion and looking forward to meeting the rest of the people the rest of the day. Thank you. Pass it on to Olga.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.